people or the place or the things. So we say, well, it's out of my hand now. That's what I love about God, because sometimes God will bring them right back to you. Just to see what you do with it. There are many of us sitting in this room right now that we've been confronted with our accusers many times. But did we leave doing the right thing? Here, as we look at this, I want to share something with you in the 119th division of Psalm. If you would go there with me, I want to show you what a man of God did in a case such as this. And then we'll go on to show you some other things that will tie this particular message up. Ain't nobody got time for that. I commend Sweet Brown for her statement that she made, because it put her at the top of the chart. Right now, she's living large and she's living good. But I hope that she remembered one thing. That if it had not been for the grace of God that drove her to being thirsty at 1:55 in the a.m. to get up to go to the refrigerator to get a cold pop, she said, she would have never smelled the smoke. Let me tell you something. Everything bad that happened to you really ain't bad. Come on. Because sometimes we just need an awakening. And sometimes it takes, sometimes the things that we least expected to give us a wake-up call. But nevertheless, she got it, and she said to herself, somebody's cooking at 1:45 in the a.m., the outside barbecuing. Well, in the neighborhood she lived in, they did it all the time. Wasn't nothing new to her. She thought maybe she can get one of them ribs. But as you look at this today, I hope you see this in the 119th division of Psalms. I would like for you to start reading verse number 67, please.
Before I was afflicted, I went astray.
Look what it says. Before I was afflicted. This word afflicted means before I was corrected. Before something happened to me to get my attention. See, sometimes God has to get your attention. And the methods and the people he used sometimes are not the people and the methods that we expect. And I'm glad about that, because if I knew who God was sending, I would never let them in. I would never let them close enough to tell me anything. But because I don't know, then God auspiciously sends people by that sometimes is your closest friend, and out of their mouth come instant correction. And you'll say, I wasn't expecting you to say all of that. But then, one good thing about it, that after they get through, we don't expect to hear, ain't nobody got time for that either. So as he said here, before all of this went down, God had to deal with me. Now, how many in this room as a survey today that God have dealt with recently? And let me tell you something. When God deals with you, it's not like me. God will make you miss a meal.
Come on.
Oh, my God. You keep you all night long. And when you realize you missed 3 days of sleep and got bags on your eyes, look like you get ready to take a trip. God knows how to do it. And somebody say, I like the way he do it. Come on, let's read.
But now I keep your word.
But now I've learned that through it all, I got to keep your word. See, it's all right to get corrected. But what happens after correction comes? Something got to make a difference. If I come to you and correct you and you make no change, then what I've said to you have fallen on dead ears. And really what you're saying to me, ain't nobody got time for that. That's exactly what you're saying. So watch this. We're moving on. I got to finish this. I want you to see this today.
You are good and do good.
He said, now God, the problem is not with you. Now, I don't know how many of you out there will tell God that. But I'm one to tell God in a minute, God, it ain't you. It's all me.
Come on.
If you just give me a chance to fix it, I'll straighten it out.
Come on.
Because I know how much trouble I can get in.
Yeah.
I know it don't take much for me to get in trouble.
Come on.
It seems like trouble awaits me.
Come on.
So you got to understand that opposed to blaming someone else, you got to look at you first.
That's it.
Because you sometimes is your greatest and worst enemy.
Oh, yeah.
You are. And I'm going to show you in a minute. Watch this.
Teach me your statutes.
Teach. Now see, what happens after we realize it is us, now we want clear instructions so we don't travel down that path anymore. Because you don't want to have to repeat a matter with God. Because the second time around, say, it is not good to fall into the hands of an angry God. Or you don't want God to get mad at you. Things happen when God gets mad.
Come on.
But now watch this.
The proud have forged a lie against me.
Look at this.
But I will keep your precepts with my whole heart.
See, sometimes it's the people you hanging around that's driving you to the position you're in right now. He said, they had forced things against me. They were lying on me. But see, a lot of times, people are really not lying on you. They're just telling the truth about you. What you don't want is the truth to come out.
That's a good word.
Let me tell you something. People really think they slick. Because they get away with one thing, they think it's automatic that they'll get away with something else. But everybody ain't sleep at noon. The Bible says the wise man keeping his silence in the presence of his enemy. Then Matthew said this, don't let your right hand, why would I reveal all of my secrets to you and you the cause of my demise? Why would I tell you everything you need to know about me and you are the assassinator? Oh, come on. Oh, God, this is heavy.
Their heart is as fat as grease.
Look at this.
But I delight in your law.
I read this article, and in this particular article, it was in reference to Mike Tyson. It was posted in U.S. Today. He said, some years ago, Mike, which I found to be rather interesting, the reporter said, Mike said, my whole life been wasted. I've been a failure. Then he said other things that kind of brought me to realize that Mike was a victim of self and self out of control. Oh, sounds familiar. Self and self that's out of control. See, self that's out of control have no control.
Right.
And that kind of self will do anything. So Mike said this. I just want to escape and really go high and learn how to face life and tell everybody the way I feel about me. He said everybody that I've met have formed their own opinion. But what does Mike say? Mike said, yes, I'm a victim of my own self. But who are you a victim of? It's a difference to be a victim of your own self and somebody else. So he says this. He said, in my career that spanned over a number of years, I've made over $300 million. Says as of today, I'm on my road back up. But what I've learned now, I will take with me the rest of my life. I can't blame nobody but I'm Mike Tyson. So I've learned to do this one thing. If it wasn't for Allah, that's God now, y'all. speaking in his language, that I wouldn't be what I am now. So thanks be to Allah that have made me a new man. In reading this, I was thinking many times the reason that David said what he said, because he went astray. He got in trouble. He did it to himself. Many times we do it to ourselves. We want to blame everybody else for it. But it's you. And if you ever face it yourself, you'll realize that there's a change over the horizon for you. We don't have much time to get this stuff together that we think, because time that was will be no more. It sounds like we got a lifetime to straighten out some things, but in reality we have just a moment. The grass withered and the flower faded, but the word of our God shall last forever. Why do you think that you can get away with everything that's not right when God is standing with the searchlight and looking in every place?
Come on now.
What is the difficulty that you can't live like you should live? And stop saying they, them, we. In reality, it's you. And it will be you that will die. So he says here in Hebrews 9:27, it is appointed for man to die once, but after death comes judgment. So he said this in reference to the life he lived. Now watch this as we finish this. I want you to read more, and then we're going back over where we were.
It is good for me that I have been afflicted.
See, so when you get corrected, it wasn't a bad thing. Say if God would have never dealt with you, do you think you'll be in this room today?
Come on now.
Do you think you'll be doing what you're doing now? The only reason you're here now because you accepted what God did to you and realized that that was just God's love for me to not let me die like that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Come on, come on.
So watch this now as I'm done with that. I want to go now to Romans chapter 7, and I'm on my way to closing. I want you to see today the importance of really getting it together, because the scripture tells us that we should walk circumspectly, walk in order, walk the way you want to be treated. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Because the things that you put out, they come back around, you know. And when they come back around, sometimes they come back around with a vengeance.